I'm going to call this meeting to order. Special meeting of the Board of Equalization. Today is Monday, March 24th, 2025. It is 9:30. We have a quorum. Mr. Brett Town.
Present.
And I'm Eleanor Thompson. Notice of this meeting was properly posted on March the 20th, 2025. We have 7 items on our agenda. You want to come forward and sit up here with us?
I was just waiting for your invitation.
Okay. Okay, just for the record, I'll go through our procedure. We had you last year, and I think you know what the procedure is. We'll hear from you. We'll hear from the assessor, and then we'll give you the last word. This is an appellate issue. I guess you tried to work it out with the assessor's office and did not reach an agreement. So anything that you present to us has to be something that you presented to them. If it's new information, we will receive it and consider it only if the assessor does not mind. And you have everything on our agenda, but we're going to take them one at a time. When we finish with one, we'll close it out and then go to the next. And I will tell you that when I looked up the assessor's information, I went backwards, and I did all right till I got to 1, and then my numbers didn't always jive with what I was seeing on the page for the prior. So be sure and tell me what the prior year's assessments were. And we're here to determine fair market value, which is willing buyer, willing seller. We're not here to talk about your ultimate tax liability with the treasurer's office. Okay, item number 1 is BOE number 25, which is 3181 Harper in Choctaw. And the account number is residential 197 841 215. My notes indicate that the assessor has this valued at $159,500. You have it valued at $130,000. I understand that this rents for $1,300. Okay, so let's hear what you say to justify $130,000 rather than $159,500.
Well, in looking over the comparables that the county provided, I was not able to determine whether or not before the sale or after the sale that this was rental property. And the information that I presented to the county indicated that traditionally it's not a good investment to pay more than what you can get 1% rent, 1% per month rent. And well, traditionally it was trying to get 2%, but it's got to the point where you can't get 2%. And sometimes I can't even get, well, I certainly can't get 1% of the county's assessment. So I think the fair rental market value would be 1%, or just going backwards. If I presented, if you got $1,000 a month, then the fair rental market value would be $100,000, and that's where I come up with the valuation that I came up with. It's $130,000. And
but do you think their comps? Do you quarrel with their comps, or you just quarrel with the fact that comps should not be used because the better way to determine value on rental property is 1%?
yes, ma'am. We don't. I mean, I wasn't able to tell whether or not this property had ever been rented. If the comps had ever been rented, and there certainly is a difference. So that was my proposal, that we consider the 1% rule.
Okay, let's hear from the assessor.
Property at 3181 North Harper is located up in Northeast 36th and Choctaw Road. It's like right in the middle of 23rd and 36th. Square footage of this property is 982 square feet. Last year's value was 154,000. All 6 comps that we were pulled were in 2024. We did have to expand that search out to 2 miles just to make sure we had adequate comps and that were similar to the property. Those comps, the median was 161,171 with the mean of 158,557. Based on those comps, that those support that value pretty well. And then on his 1% rule, it actually does not say that's how it determines market value. The last sentence in there says this rule is used to determine if a property will be profitable. That does not determine market value. And then low on what he presented, it says this 1% rule is not the only tool that can be used to evaluate a property. How we evaluate properties based on sales that have happened, and we use the most recent because all comps were in 2024.
Am I correct? Last year, it lowered from 157.5, right? It went 157.5 down to 154, and now we're back to 159.5. No.
It was always 154 and 24.
But the year before that, it was 157.5.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. Rich, you got questions?
No.
No. You get the final word.
Well,
You think the comps, if your property is a rental, the comps need to be rentals?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's current use.
Okay.
That's my final word. I mean, if you really don't know for sure the value of the property until it is sold.
Right.
And this 1% rule seems to be, in my mind, seems to be a real estimate of the rental market value. As you know, you go on the website and you find numerous postings from mortgage companies, banks that indicate that the value is there. I mean, if you talk about rental property, the value is there if you can collect 1% of that value.
So 1% probably, say I have a rental house in Deer Creek, which I do, for $300,000, but I can only rent it for $1,800 a month. It's determined by the market, not the value of the house. So I should, under the 1% rule, I should be getting $3,000 a month for a 2,600 square foot home.
Well, I'd say you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. But in this particular valuation, I mean, the market that my houses are in, you can, and you know, I would like to say that you know you get 2%. If I was trying to get 2%, they should be worth twice as much as what I'm saying they are. But I can't get 2%. You can't get 2%, and that's still the rule. If you were going to borrow the money just for a rental property, a bank would certainly want a big down payment because they don't want you to make an investment that can't be supported by the income.
One of the other things that they want to see is they want to see the values of the property rising in those areas too, to protect their initial loan value, and because that's one of the reasons people buy and rent houses is for appreciation as well, not just rental income.
But you don't realize that appreciation until you sell.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, I'm gonna close the the hearing on BOE number 25 and go to the second item on the agenda, which is BOE 26. It's in the next block, 3201 North Harper, number R197-841-225. And you'd like to have it valued at $120,000 because it gets $1,200 a month rent, and the assessor has it at $187,000. I didn't pull the prior year's assessment on that. I did see a median of 190,674 and a mean of 191,15. So is your statement going to be the same about this as it was about the other one, that because your rent is 1,200?
Yes, ma'am, and, you know, to conserve time, my statement would be the same. I mean, if that's appropriate.
That's fine. Okay, I will hear from the assessor.
3201 North Harper is once again Northeast 36 in Choctaw Road. This home's square footage is 1,000 square feet. All 6 comps that were used were all in 2024. And you already mentioned it. Median was 190,674. Mean was 191,015. And then the value in 24 was 181,500. So based on the comps and what we were provided, we felt that this was in line with what the market is saying these are worth.
Okay, let me just ask you this. Oh, did you put a picture of that house up? This one is a little bit bigger, and you get less rent on this. Why is that? It's a tiny bit bigger, not a whole lot. 982 versus 1,000.
It's just a matter of timing. I usually don't raise the rent.
Oh, I see.
I don't raise the rent on a tenant.
Okay,
I would raise the rent when tenants change.
right. Okay.
I mean, it's tough to pay rent now. I mean, you know, when eggs are $1 a piece, why? It's tough for people to pay rent.
Okay, I'm going to close BOE number 26, open BOE number 27, same block, 3221 North Harbor, number R197, 841, 235. There's $1,000 rental on this one, so you say 100,000, and the assessor has it at 191. Can you tell me the square footage on this one?
Me or him?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is this house bigger or smaller? What's the square footage on this?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Okay, so we'll hear from the assessor.
So the square footage on this one is 1,065.
Okay.
The 24 value was 185,000.
Okay.
All 6 comps that we ran were all in 2024.
Okay.
Median was 193,139 with a mean of 192,027. And based on that, our value is supported based on those comps.
Any questions? Okay, I'm gonna close BOE number 27 and open BOE number 28, 14480 Norton Drive, R 1978, 41245. And you would like to have us set the value at 95,000 because your rent's 950. The assessor has it at 172. So if I'm correct, last year was 157.5. The year before that was 159.5. The year before that, 141. Do you have anything different to add other than your previous argument of 1% of the rent? No.
No.
Okay.
I
I hear from the
don't mean to be argumentative.
You're not. You're not.
Okay.
Okay.
We just have to go through since it's on the board
It's
agenda like this, we just have to go through the process.
okay. We're here from the assessor.
Okay. The square footage on 14480 Norton Drive is 1,140 square feet. All the cells that we used in the comparable report were all in 2024. The median is 174,572, and a mean of 174,052, which more than supports our value that we currently have at 172,000.
Can you put a picture of this one up? I can't remember. Oh, yeah, that one, okay. Okay, I'm gonna close, BOE number 28 and open BOE number 29. We're back to Harper, 3057 North Harper, number R 1978, 41255. The property owner would like to have it valued at 120,000 as the rent is 1,200. The assessor is asking for, or has assessed it at, 203,000. Last year was 197. Then it was 199.5. The median is about 205,000 and the mean 197. Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
The square footage on 3057 North Harper is 1,320 square feet. All the comps that we did use were in 2024. And then you've already mentioned the median and the mean. They both support our current value and also supported what the value was last year.
Okay, I'm gonna close 29 and open BOE number 30, which is 3035 North Harper, number R 1978, 41265. The property owner is asking for 77,500 because his rent is $775. The assessor has set the fair market value at 168,500. It was 161,000 the year before and 159,000 the year before. And the median 168,002 and the mean 165,900. I'll hear from the assessor.
The property on 3035 North Harper, the square footage is 989 989 square feet. And all the cells, or the comps that we used were all in 2024.
Okay.
All the same condition is fair, just like this one. And that's really it. Same argument. Median and mean support the value.
All right.
2024 value.
24 was 161,000.
159. Okay, I'm gonna close BOE number 30, and the last one I'll open up is BOE number 31, 14422 North Lane. Property number R 1978, 41305. The property owner asks for a valuation of 120,000 as the rent is 1,200. The assessor this year has it at 181,500. Last year was 173,500. The year before that was 177,500. A median of 186,500. A mean of 187,500. So 12 below both of those. I'll hear from the assessor. What is this Norton?
This is on Northeast 36 and Choctaw as well. Yeah, it's right in the middle between 23rd and 36th.
Okay.
Let's see. The square footage on this one is at 1,086.
108.
All 6 comps that we used were in 2024. And then, like you said, median and mean are both actually higher, or support the value. Median being 186,516. Mean being 187,536. And then the
houses are very well kept. I drove the neighborhood, so. And I guess one of your issues here, he owns a lot in that area, so you get to be careful on getting your comps.
yes.
Okay. You have any further questions, Brett? Anything further you want to say to us?
Well, I'd like to reemphasize the fair rental market value.
Okay.
And based on the information that I provided, it seems reasonable that we should consider the value that 1% would generate. And, if, you know, if they were put on the market, I'm not confident that they would bring the county's assessed value. I'd be tickled to accept my evaluation because, I mean, I just don't think the value is there, and I don't think any lender would think the value is there. But that's beside the point. That's,
On average, if you could just, you remember, how long have you owned these properties?
well, should be a long time.
A long time. I just, you know, we've gone through a substantial rate rise in property values in Oklahoma County these last couple of years.
I don't deny that.
And rental is tough.
But, you know, the property value is probably there if you sold.
Yes.
But I'm not selling, I'm not what you call a flipper. You know, this is, you know, like trying to live on what they bring in. So I'm asking the county to consider the fair rent market value. And, you know, if you were some able to determine that, I think you'd find that my evaluation would be in line with, you know, the fair rental market value. It's difficult. I mean, you have to do a lot of investigation to find it. I'm not sure the county has resources to do that. But I'm offering justification because this is real. This is not, it's not waiting on a sale. I mean, it's right now. So that's the reason I'm presenting this value.
Okay.
My only thought is that what you're asking is very difficult, as you stated. But also, if you were to sell one of those houses today, you would be selling it on the market value, probably not the rental market value.
Well, maybe,
Correct.
maybe, but I have more inquiries for a rental market sale than I do a owner occupied sale.
And at that point, would you sell it at 120,000 or would you sell it at 180,000?
I would sell it. I mean, I'd be tickled to death if somebody come in.
Or somewhere in between?
I'm sorry?
Or somewhere in between those points?
Sure. I mean, I'd be stupid not to take more.
What would you put it on the market for? That would be my question.
You know what? I haven't even considered that because I don't plan on selling them. You know, my kids will probably sell them, and then you'll get a chance to find the real market value when they sell.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, the way this works, we generally will have our decision day on Friday, but you're all we have this week. So our decision day is going to be Wednesday. And then, so probably Friday or Saturday, you'll get a written
okay, I'll be
decision.
here again Thursday or Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes. Okay.
It would save a lot of time if you just write down.
I know what happens is if we do that and then we get so we end up trying to do 30 or 40 on a Friday, and we're just trying to smooth these out a little this week because we're short-handed, and I'm going to have to go on one of these days.
That's fine. I'm just trying to be respectful of your time. I've got all the time in the world.
Well, don't take it as a slam. I think we certainly admire entrepreneurs who try to work through real estate values and to make money, and we see some really good examples of that. And I feel like that maybe we see some really bad examples of.
I don't have any slums.
I've seen the properties. Nice
They are nice neighborhoods. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate your comment. Also appreciate your consideration.
Okay.
See you Wednesday.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. I drove by